What's going on, everyone? This is Chris around the ATL on a random Monday where I had decided to come on the air live to talk about this. Although I wasn't going to initially, I was going to wait a little bit, but I had people at work tell me, hey, I want to talk to you, but I want to see what you actually say before we talk about it. And then I see all the posts on the internet and everything. So I decided to go ahead and do a little bit more than just talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and put a show together impromptu, as I usually do, and put some structure on this just a little bit. So that being said, make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube channel. Do I have it up here yet? I don't think I do. But my Game 4 review of the Hawks versus Knicks playoff series is coming. I might do it tomorrow morning, actually. So look out for that as well. But tonight, let me see if I can get a little music going here. I'm just still testing this out a little bit. What is that? Background music. Here we go. That's a little too loud. All right, there we go. See if that works. So tonight, again, this is impromptu, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Zaccharie Risacher got traded at 21 years old. I want everybody to remember that first and foremost. Okay. I want everybody to remember that. Turn this down just a little bit. How about that? Okay. We post it again. 21, the number one pick. I'm going to tell you why that's important to note in a little bit. But I'm going to go through some stuff. But second and foremost, I should say, the Atlanta Hawks organization was allowed to stop the team from winning a championship. I'm going to show that a little bit tonight as well. So, the Atlanta Hawks organization was allowed to do it. What do I mean by that? The Hawks had Dominique Wilkins, never got out the second round. The Atlanta Hawks were first in the East with Dominique Wilkins on the team, and they traded him. The only way to legitimize that trade would be that the Hawks make it through the Eastern Conference, get to the Eastern Conference Finals, win the Eastern Conference Finals, and win the NBA championship. Only then would they be able to say, well, we were right about Dominique Wilkins. But that didn't happen, did it? We have NBA history to prove that. The Atlanta Hawks had Mutombo, Smitty, and Mookie. Didn't get out the second round. That team was more than capable of having a chance to win a championship. In the East, they had the premier defensive player in the league. They had one of the better shooting guards in the league, can get his shot anytime he wants to. You had one of the premier defensive guards who can hit an open three on the same team, all at the same time. We couldn't get to the Eastern. We couldn't do it. Remember, the Hawks have gotten to 2 Eastern Conference Finals in their history, and both of them are within the last 10 years. Think about that. The Atlanta Hawks had ISO Joe, Jay Smooth, and Al Horford on the same team. They never made it to an Eastern Conference Finals together. Oh, but we took Boston toe-to-toe. That don't matter if we didn't beat them, though. As good as the nostalgia is about that, we didn't beat them. We can always talk about how, just like the Hawks getting to Game 7 with Boston. I had Dominique Wilkins on the radio show on Around the ATL. Make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio page. And he talked about that Game 7. He talked about the challenge of it. He talked about how he felt what he needed to do to be able to do it. But that team didn't have enough to go up against the upper echelon team of that time period, the Boston Celtics. And the Hawks were allowed to not give Dominique Wilkins any help. The Atlanta Hawks had Al Horford, Jeff Teague, and Paul Millsap on the team together. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals, got swept, and then instead of putting the team around that group to say we can do more, we didn't do anything the next year and got swept out the first round. I mean, out the second round, because we made it out the first round. We got swept out the second round. Didn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals back-to-back, like we should have at least. We got swept out the playoffs by the same team, by the way, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Ain't that something? And then with a great mix of vets and young guys, 2020 season, where, by the way, again, points per game went from 118 points a game given up to 111 with that one guy on the team still. Somehow that happened. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals. They won game one of each playoff series. And the Atlanta Hawks said, even though we could put some better players on this team and get to the Eastern Conference Finals again and win it this time, the Atlanta Hawks said, no, let's get Chauncey Brown Jr., and Sharif Cooper and Gorgie Jang and Malcolm Hill and Wesley Wundu and Kevin Knox and TLC and Cameron Oliver and Lance Stevenson, Lance will make you dance, Dark Liquor Stevenson. And that's the team. That's what the Atlanta Hawks organization told us was the right move. And we paid for it, didn't we? The Atlanta Hawks, okay, have been allowed to do this for a long time. And then when finally they actually really truly have an opportunity to say, let's come together, we could really build this now. We can have two all-NBA players on the same team, along with an all-defensive player, a most improved player candidate on the team at the same time, along with a solid Dyson Daniels or a solid Okongwu. We could have that. We can't have that. No, we can't have it, apparently. Not allowed. Not allowed to do that. So, now let's get to the nitty and the gritty. 21 years old, just traded away. Just inconsequential, right? Just don't matter. Don't matter. It can't matter, right? One, a lot of y'all have never watched Atlanta Hawks basketball. You prove it every day. Stuff I see on the internet, I'm like, I know you couldn't have watched any games. You couldn't have watched a season of NBA basketball for the Atlanta Hawks since Dominique Wilkins was playing. You tell on yourselves every day. It's scary how bad it is. But check this out. Let me talk about the positive first, okay? Because on the surface, for what you get in return, it's a good trade. You get Dort, first of all. Now, Dort last year, not 2025 season, but 2024 season, was named to his first all-defensive team. He was first all-defense. He got some Defensive Player of the Year votes, okay? Not this past year, though, but last year he did. And we know overall he's a good defender. He's a better defender than DeAndre Hunter has ever been. That's easy, right? We could have got Dort a couple years ago. We could have put some players around, the player that don't play the best defense, just like the Knicks did over the last 4 years. Again, I'll bring it up again. They not only decided to build a team around a 6'2" guy, they decided to actually do it for real. They went and got Josh Hart right off the bat. Hard-nosed defender. He shut down Jalen Johnson, didn't he? Then the next year they went and got OG. Shut down Jalen Johnson, didn't he? Then the next year went and got Cat and Bridges. And put them all on the same team and then starting lined up together with assorted characters surrounding them. Got a championship out of it somewhere. But anyway, Dort, when he was younger, he scored a lot more than he does now. Let's take a look at Lou Dort real quick. Okay, what is this so much? So let's see. So 2020, 2021, 2022 seasons, he scored 14, 17, and 13 points a game respectively. Okay. Now, a lot of y'all only care about shooting percentage when it's convenient to you. He promptly shot 38%, 40%, and 38% in 3 straight seasons. So I know y'all don't care about that, right? But he was scoring the points then, right? He was shooting 34%, 33%, and 33% from 3. Now, last year, he shot 34% from 3. He shot 38% from the floor. 38% from the floor. He had 8 points a game. Okay. Now, one of the things I always talk about defense, you might not always get the steals, you might not always get the blocks, but the whole point of having a defender to stop you from scoring is to stop you from scoring from, hey, you either not getting the ball or you're not doing what you want to on offense. It's just as good as taking the ball from somebody and blocking a shot. I just played basketball last night. I contested a lot of shots that normally might go in for somebody. Put someone like me out there, you got to think twice. You got to do some stuff that you got to at least arc your shot a lot more than you usually would. And hope I can't jump. Because if I can jump, it's pretty tough. Anyway, so that's what Luke Dort does bring to the table, an actual defender on a regular basis, an extra one, which we could have gotten before, but we just didn't. We just let other players just do whatever they wanted to on the floor and give up 25 points a game, and no one complained. As long as it's not the player that you hate, everybody else can give up 25, 30 points a game. You don't care, right? Anyway, Nembhard is the other player that we got. And the reason I like this part of the trade, which I actually think is the better part of the trade, is that we have a consistent scorer, okay? Somebody who can move the ball around, okay? That's all true here, right? The last few years, as his minutes have increased, what's going on with my phone? As his minutes have increased, his points per game have increased. So last year, they're in Indiana with Halliburton gone. He was averaging 17 points a game with 7 assists. Okay. Now, he's not going to get 31 minutes a game here in Atlanta, but what I say is he'd be our perfect backup point guard, finally having one after all these years when we should have had one. We never had a backup point guard. Jeremy Lin was the best candidate for a backup point guard that we've had. That's sad to me. That's just because everybody else has somebody. Everybody else has somebody of quality, of note, who always eats us alive somehow, just destroys us. Like Alvarado was in the playoffs, the shortest guy on the floor, can't stop him. Only hope you can contain him. Anyway, Nembhard shot 36% from 3 a year ago, 44% from the floor. Now, he has gotten better at threes because the year before that, he shot 29%. So that's not good, right? But those 7.5 assists, it means something. I always talk about your points generation. To continue to negate things that are actually fact is stupidly idiotic to me. Because this young man, last year, let's see, 16, let's say 14. Let me get my calculator out real quick. Let's just say he was generating 30, 40 points a game last year for the Indiana Pacers. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. CJ can't do that. But CJ don't pass the ball. He's not a passer. So if his shot ain't hitting, he can't really contribute that much because he also is horrible on defense, right? Which is why we're forced to get another defender on the team. Want to know why? Again, I'm talking about the positive part of this trade. Okay, you got Luke Dort out there combined with Dyson. Now, again, people say NAW is a defender. I'll let you be the judge of that when I continue to go through these game reviews for that Knicks series. Okay, but the two main players that were giving up most of the points was Jalen Johnson and CJ. If they had played any kind of better defense, we're talking about NBA history in a whole different light. Again, our best player, we needed 30, 10, and 10 out of him, and we needed an all-star, all-NBA effort out of him on defense for once. Because unfortunately, again, and a lot of people now are finally starting to at least respect facts and reality and call it for what it is. Jalen Johnson don't be playing no defense. Now, maybe this season he will. Maybe. But just in case he don't, you have Lou Dort on the team now. So that's going to help us out. You have Nembhard to be able to offset some stuff out there, right? Although I still don't know who's going to be shooting threes for our team. It sure better not be Dort. Sure better not be Dyson Daniels we're relying on, right? Which is why I go back to having Kingston out there. Kingston got to be able to have some people to get the ball to, which is why I thought we were going to bring Kuminga back at least. Give him a chance to prove himself. But anyway, again, the Atlanta Hawks organization is allowed to do some of these things. But that's the positive part of the trade. Now let's talk about the not positive part of trading a 21-year-old. Okay, let's get into that part now. Let's change the music up real quick. Again, welcome to Around the ATL on an impromptu. It's 10:17 p.m. I'm not going to be on here too much longer. At least I'm going to try to get through this. So, the coach didn't want to coach. Just get rid of him. And I said this to one of my people at work. I believe the only reason Zach got a chance to start was because he was a #1 pick. For all time, most of the #1 picks that have been picked #1 in the NBA started. There's been some exceptions, obviously. But I think that's the only reason he started, because otherwise, I don't think he plays. And year 2 kind of proved that, didn't it? There has been games where I've done game reviews and I've shown there's this 2 quarters where Zach playing well, shooting well, 4 for 7, 5 for 7 from the game, whatever it is, shooting 66%, hitting all his threes. He's pulled and he doesn't even play the 4th quarter. Doesn't even play the 4th quarter. It doesn't make any sense, right? Now, some people have talked about the fact, okay, well, you know, if that former player and him play real well together and he can't play without that one player, then he's no good. Well, that's just not true. Imagine Karl Malone without John Stockton. Was Karl Malone as good as he was without John Stockton? Was he? Could he have been? As effective. Hitting the ball exactly where you want to shoot every single doggone blasted time. You get post position, boom, you got the ball. Boom, jump shot. Like every single time. Because I'm just saying. Right? But this was just year 2. You basically gave up on a player because, well, the essence of him not being able to get his shot all the time is there, although you have all these other elements that he's actually pretty decent at and getting better at it. Before I get into more Zach, Jalen Johnson in 2029 will be a free agent. Are we going to trade him before that? We're going to mess around and be like, no, I don't really think we should pay Jalen Johnson all this money. I mean, is he really worth it? Not sure. Scenario. If the Atlanta Hawks don't win the championship, well, first of all, remember, since January, I said the Hawks need to win a championship this year, next year, or the year after that, because otherwise, what are we doing, right? So if the Atlanta Hawks don't win a championship between now, the next 2 years, because this year the Knicks won it, are the Hawks going to get rid of Jalen Johnson? Will Jalen Johnson want to still stay here? That's a question you need to ask, because in 2029, he'll be a free agent. Think about that. Now, let's get into this. Every Atlanta Hawk first-round draft pick since 2016 I'm not counting the 2026 draft because it just happened, okay? But every other first-round draft pick in Atlanta Hawks history since 2016 are either not on the Atlanta Hawks or not even in the NBA anymore. We only have 4 left, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's Jalen Johnson, Okongwu, Mohamed Gueye, and Asa Newell. That's it. 10 years, number one, drafting in the first round. 10 years of drafting in the first round. We got 4 players left. 4. The Atlanta Hawks organization, what did I say? The Atlanta Hawks organization has been allowed to stop the team from winning a championship. Since the 60s, by the way. Why is this acceptable? Why is it normal for a team to just basically be 500 for the organization's history? The whole point of having a team is to win a championship. And if you're not allowed to win a championship, then what? Because see, if you have the players who actually want to win a championship and care only about that and doing their best to win a championship and playing at their highest level, doing what they do the best, and it's still not enough, then why should they stay at a certain point? You're not even going to try to win a championship? You're not even going to try? You're not even going to try? That's crazy talk. Trading a first-round pick that had a better rookie season than all other Atlanta Hawks first-round picks since the year 2000 outside of 2 players. When I say better rookie season, I am technically only talking about scoring output. That's a big deal. When you're a first-round pick and you can't produce, you're probably not going to last too long. Because if people don't even think that you can do anything, then why should you stay? Now, some teams just love keeping players that can't help you on either side of the ball. The Atlanta Hawks are probably the most notorious team in the NBA history of that. But Zach had a better first year just scoring. I'm not talking about nothing else than every other Atlanta Hawk first-round pick since 2000, except for 2 players. That's Jalen Johnson and that player that don't play here no more. That's the list. First year. I'm only talking about first year. He outscored everybody. Now, some is only by a little bit. Some is a lot. Some you'd be kind of surprised. He had a better first year than that player? I'm going to just give you a little bit of a hint. I don't know if I'm going to do all of them. I didn't plan on doing this again. But let's just go. In the year 2000, y'all remember that song from Conan? So, DeMar Johnson. He was pick number 6. You know how many points he averaged his first year in the NBA? 5.1. Let's bump it up a little bit here. Let's see. How about Boris Diaw? You want to know how many points he scored his first season? 4.5. Let's find out somebody else real quick. I'm only talking about first-round picks, by the way. Josh Smith, J Smooth himself. How many? 9.7. Remember, Zach averaged 11.8 points, 12 points a game his first year in the NBA, guys. Josh Childress, he actually did pretty good his first year, 10 points a game, even. Who else? Coming up, we are in 2005 now. Marvin Williams, picture perfect. How many points did he score in his first season as a Hawk? 8.5. Y'all can go look yourselves. You don't got to believe me. How about Sheldon Williams, number 5 pick in the NBA draft from the Duke Blue Devils, 5.5 points. Let's keep going. Mr. Al Horford, 2007, 10.1. He outscored Al. Let's see. Jeff Teague, Wake Forest, pick number 19. who don't care about winning basketball games. He averaged 3.2 games his first season in the NBA. Let's keep going. I don't even want. Y'all go look up Damian James yourself. You also can. I'll pull up John Jenkins real quick. I actually like John Jenkins. You know, John Jenkins actually was in the Rookie of the Year consideration for a minute. He finished 10th. He had 6.1 points a game for his first season in the NBA. By the way, let me go back and pull this up real quick. I just want to check something real quick. Let's see. His rookie season, he shot 38% from three. Never was going to get the ball again, huh? Yeah, another season, he shot 40% from three. Look at there. He can shoot. All right, let's see. Let's go to 2013. Dennis, the Menace. His first season, 3.7 points a game. Who else? Gonna skip Adrian Payne. How about Bembry? Bembry is a real good player, right? 2.7 points a game, first season. This is all of 2020, the year 2000, all the way up. We're talking about 26 years of NBA basketball, guys. John Collins. Look at John Collins doing his first year in the NBA, 10.5. That's not more than 11.8. Let's keep going. Want to know what Mari Spellman did his first season in the NBA? 5.9. How about Red Mamba, Kevin Huerter? What did he do his first year in the NBA? Let's find out. 9.7. And of course, we have that one person who ain't here no more. What did he do in his first year? 19 points. Let's keep going. Cam Reddish, Campster. Not even in the NBA currently. 10.5, close, but still no cigar. How about Hunter? His first year in the NBA. Now, actually, my bad. Hunter did outscore Zach, so it's three players. 12.3. 12.3. My bad. See how easy it is to make a correction, by the way? Let's keep going. Not finished yet. Uh-oh, that's another page. We're almost there. How about Okongwu? Did he outdo Okongwu in his first season? 4.6. That's what Okongwu did in his first season in the NBA. How about Jalen Johnson? Well, I already told you Jalen Johnson is one of the three players, right? Jalen Johnson in his first year in the NBA. No, actually, I'm wrong. He outdid Jalen Johnson. 2.4. He outdid him in his second year, too. 5.6. My bad. It's actually only two players. The former player and Hunter is the only two players in 26 years he didn't have a better first season in. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was thinking better career so far, as far as points. I think that's what I did. Yeah. Jalen Johnson in his first year averaged 2.4 points a game. In his second year, 5.6. We just gave up on a 21-year-old like he might not do a jump. He started at, you see what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. But the Hawks were allowed to do it, though. Allowed to do it. Let's keep going. Not finished yet. How about A.J. Griffin? A.J. Griffin from Duke. Had a pretty decent first year, 8.9 points. And then he quit. He had to quit. He had a calling, they said, right? How about Kobe Buffkin? The best point guard in Hawks history. Not even in the NBA. 4.8 points a game. He's really good, though. He's really, really good. By the way, let me go back here because you need to hear this again. 4.8 points a game in his rookie season. Shooting 22% from three, shooting 37% from the floor as a guard, and 1.6 assists. Then his very next year, 5.3 points a game. That's a little bit more than 5.8. He shot 21% from three and 38% from the floor. And then in the few games he got to play with the Lakers, he scored 2.9 points a game, at 19% from three and 30% from the floor. And I'm supposed to be convinced that that was the future of the Atlanta Hawks because of one good game in the preseason against OKC. That's what I was told. Of course, you got Zach, who in his first NBA season, again, 12.6 points. My bad, I don't know what I'm doing. He averaged, actually, let's see. He did better than Hunter. There's only one other player in his rookie season that outscored Zach in his entire career. I mean, in his rookie season. And that's that former player. He had 12.6 points a game in his rookie season, guys. All other players since the year 2000, he outscored in their first year as an NBA player, except for one player, and we just traded him away. We just traded him away. Finished second in Rookie of the Year scoring. 12.6 points a game. I told you I wasn't fully prepared on this one, but I'm still doing it, though. He shot 35% from three his rookie season. Shot 36%, well, 37% really, because you got to round it up. 368. So you round that up. He shot 37%. His career 36% three-point shooter for his career. You don't think he's going to go up from there? Especially going now to the Dallas Mavericks, going to go play with, I'll get into that a little bit later. Let's say I'm still not finished. I still got one more year, I think, don't I? No, you got Asa. So since the year 2000, Zach, in his first season, outdid all other first-round draft picks in Hawks history in their first year, except for one player who scored 19 points a game in their first year. And that's what we traded away. We traded away size and skill and shooting ability. Just because what? The coach didn't want to do their job. Didn't want to get someone to help him come up with a few moves here and there. Like we didn't want to get Jamal Crawford up in here. We didn't want to do that. You didn't want to get. You didn't want to do that. He's gonna go and play with Kyrie, Cooper, and Klay now. So again, I'm gonna ask. This is what you did. What happens if Zach goes over there and drops 18, 19 points a game year three? We're going to just shrug our shoulders and be like, not a big deal. What's my time? 10:30. Okay. So, and just as a side note, I saw the comment from Trae Young. We use his name that one time because it's in print about Zach being free. He's free on the basis of he wasn't going to be utilized. The coach didn't want to play him. Coach pulling him and then eventually benched him, which I agree with. Remember, if you remember, I've said it. I was like, I agree with this because if you're not going to play him, why put him out there like that anymore? If you don't want to get him the ball in the best spots that he can succeed, like you did for Kyle Korver and all the other spot-up shooters we've ever had here in Atlanta, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Okay, fine, because you don't want a point guard. Imagine, just imagine, we had a point guard last year. But anyway, but since you don't want to do that, you got to bench him and put CJ in there because CJ can score consecutively through all the quarters enough to make a difference, right? It's one of the reasons why we had that win streak at the end of February, not January, end of February, by the way. I don't want to get into that right now. But he's free on that basis, okay? He's shooting 6% from a game. He get pulled, not going to play no more. Became a non-factor. It's not about being fair. It's just about being intelligent in basketball, right? And about being able to adjust to what roster you have. See, some coaches can coach no matter who's on the roster, and some coaches could only coach with certain players on the roster. But what if it doesn't work? Remember, Snyder doing it his way is 25-38 now in the playoffs. Is that a good record? Y'all can convince me that's a good record. You might be able to sell me a spot on the moon, the next moon landing. 25-38? That's 38 straight up losses in the playoffs. That's not 500 in the playoffs. It's nowhere close. Is it? I can do math. Snyder doing it his way, not needing a point guard, not having anybody be responsible for defense. We averaged 100-point scoring and gave up 122 points in a playoff series. We watched 2 games back-to-back where the Atlanta Hawks gave up in the playoff. Never seen that before. Right? Now, as I mentioned before, with us getting Dort and getting rid of Zach, there is another little thing to this here, okay? But before I mention that, if you trade Zach, what does it say to the other young players that we just got? Are they going to even play? Why? Again, it's like, why even have a draft? If you can't coach young players, what is your point as a coach? Or the coaching staff, which I've always talked about, right? Where is our defensive coach at? Where is our big man coach at? Where is our shooting coach at? Why can't we finish at the rim? Why can't we hit a 10-foot jumper? Like, it's so frustrating to see someone lead the entire NBA 2 years in a row on potential assists. Don't you, that should get you upset because it costs us games. When you lose 20 plus games by 10 points or less, and you're leading the league in potential assists, it makes a difference when you're losing games by 2 or 3, 5 points, and we're leaving 30 points on the board from missed shots. From missed shots, from one player. I pass you the ball, you missed a shot. I pass you the ball 5 more times and you miss all 5 shots, and you're trying to tell me that don't matter in a game, that you're trying to win? I've shown you the game footage. I would show some game footage right now, but that's not the point of this particular episode. So why draft Risacher if he's not going to play center? You're going to start Muhammad Gueye in front of him? You're going to play him more minutes? Same thing with Zuby. You're going to play Asa and Muhammad Gueye in front of Zuby after you've seen what he can do? What he could do right now? Right now? Again, I'm sorry, Muhammad Gueye shouldn't be on the team no more. He had his 3 seasons. He had his 3 seasons. Oh, Chris, he's good on defense. If he was so good on defense, where was he in the Knicks series? Why wasn't he playing 25 minutes a game in the Knicks series? I'm sorry. You got to answer that question because it doesn't make no sense otherwise. You can't just say something and it not be true. I'm not going to let you do it. We gave up 122 points a game. The 6'2" guy was dominating us. Cat was doing whatever he wanted to do. OG was just dunking on everybody, moving them out the way and dunking on everybody. Got to understand that. I'm going to show you game 4. It's almost here. I'm almost done with it. So, all of this being said, what is next? Because if you can trade away a 21-year-old, right? Like, that means Asa's on the block already. Asa's on the block. And somebody else I saw on the internet, it's like we have all these players. Like, all these players can't play. Like, we got 17 players right now, right? So how are all of them going to play? And remember, let's see if I still got it pulled up. Nope, that's not it. Let's see if this is it. Yeah, I'm doing this on the fly. Here's my potential starting lineup that I say gives us the better chance to be able to be more competitive than a year ago. Because remember, I'll go ahead and do it before I do my roster, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Because again, the Atlanta Hawks have been allowed to stop the Hawks from winning a championship. To have the best chance of not falling all the way down to 10th place because of what all the other moves around us have done. Now, I will say also the move by getting Dort and Nembhard, I think can keep us in 6 now. I feel a lot better now than I did beforehand. We're going to see if it works out, but it only works out if you start certain players, and I'll tell you that in a second, right? But we have a lot of players, right? I don't know. I mean, all of them ain't going to be able to play, obviously. We still got Corey Kispert on this team. He needs to go. We still got Koloko on this team. He needs to go. Has to go. Why is Bradley still here? What are we doing, right? So those 3 guys, let's see, is Bradley still here? I think he is. I don't see his name, so maybe they did get him cut. Good. We have Wiggins too, by the way, which I also like as a move. So here's what I say needs to happen at minimum, okay? Because otherwise, what are we doing? Why did we draft him? Kingston needs to start. We needed a point guard. It was very obvious. We needed a point guard through the entire season. Again, none of it was sustainable. And this is why, okay? Number one, this is just a reminder for everybody who hadn't seen previous episodes of Around the ATL. Make sure you subscribe on the IMTM Worldwide Radio YouTube channel. The Atlanta Hawks didn't start a winning streak December 29th. Because that was the first game without that former player. That game, we gave up 140 points. Okay? So for all the people who keep saying, oh, well, in January we got better because we traded him away, that is a bold-faced lie. Don't got to believe me. All you got to do is pull up ESPN or NBA.com or wherever. But December 27th was the last game in uniform on the floor that former player ever played as an Atlanta Hawk. So every game after that didn't have nothing to do with him being on the floor. We did not have a 25-game winning streak after that. We just didn't. It did not happen. It did not happen. We lost 13 games from December 29th to February 20th. And February 20th is when that 11-game win streak started. Those 13 wins kept us from being a 59-win team. If we win 7 of those games instead of losing 13, we're a 52-win team. That don't matter to nobody? Why didn't we win all of those games? Because, again, all of us were told, you get rid of them, we'll win. And the only way you could have said, well, we were right about saying if we get rid of them and we win, is that you win the East. Because it wouldn't just be you get into the Eastern Conference Finals, right? You have to win the Eastern Conference Finals and end up in the finals. And then really, if you won the finals, there would have been nothing that someone like me could have said to say, oh, well, we won the championship. There ain't nothing I can say at that point. Team is better. That didn't happen, though, did it? But I've said since January, we need to win a championship. I've been saying it on all my posts, on the sports pages I dabble in or whatnot. We're definitely on here. We got to win a championship this year. Yes. You don't believe we can win a championship? The team that we had was better than any team we've had formulated in the last decade plus. Again, you can't say that Kevin Huerter or DeAndre Hunter or John Collins were better than Dyson Daniels, NAW, and Jalen Johnson. You can't say it. And you can't say that last year's team, 2024, was better than those guys either. Niang is not better than Jalen Johnson. Karras, I am not your Casanova LeVert, is not better than, heck, NAW or Dyson Daniels. Terrence Mann is definitely not better than any of them. That team didn't have a Kuminga on it for 20 games plus. You see what I'm saying? And that team won 40 games. This year's team won 46 games. We won 6 more games because Jalen Johnson played he played 70 games, 30 minutes or more for the first time in his career. He's never done that before. And we had a consistent 20-point-a-game scorer in NAW. That's why we won 6 more games. Because you still had Dyson, you still had Okongwu. Bench wasn't no better. outside of Kuminga. Remember, in the playoffs, it was Kuminga or bust. I said that. I said if Kuminga don't score, we're in trouble. He got to score 19 points a game every game to have a chance. He got to do it. He did it in 2 games and then do it the other 4. We at least get out the first round if Kuminga did that. That's all we needed him to do. That's all we needed. That's all we needed. But you didn't anticipate Jalen Johnson not playing well at all. Didn't anticipate NAW not giving you the best effort ever. Again, oh, Chris, you can't tell you. Why not? They're telling you that to happen themselves. This ain't no mystery. It's on tape. I've shown you games 1, 2, and 3. It shows you that the Atlanta Hawks should have beat the Knicks in the first round. But then games 4, 5, and 6 are going to show you, yeah, we didn't have a chance. Because we just weren't going to play no defense. It just wasn't going to happen. I'm going to prove it to you. Again. But we should have won game 1. We could have swept the Knicks. Or at least won 4 games to 1. But that just didn't happen. So here's, by the way, I almost forgot. So here's my starting lineup for the season. I'm going to get out of here. Just can't believe just what we keep doing. That, you know. Again, though, I like the trade on the essence of it. Again, getting Dort and Nembhard as the players. I just don't know where everybody's going to play. But here's where I say what needs to happen. Now that Zach is not here for sure, it does change some stuff. And it don't look like we're getting Kuminga. Because I say we need to start Kuminga at small forward. Give us the best chance of having depth on the bench. But now that none of that's going to happen, here's what I suggest. You start Kingston at point guard. You start Dyson at shooting guard, right? You do not start Dort. You can't do it. Just can't do it. You can't have Dyson and Dort out there. That just would not make no sense. Okay? Because we're gonna leave those 2 alone. We don't gotta guard you. We just gotta guard Jalen Johnson. And you see what I'm saying? So you start NAW at small forward. Okay. Jalen Johnson at power forward. You start Vassar at center. You go for broke. People say, well, he don't play no defense. How do you know he don't play no defense? We'll see. But he played better defense if we had a big man coach. Where's Kevin Willis at? Why can't we get Sheed up in here? Why can't we do these things? Why not? She was in Atlanta Hawk for 1 game. Golly. On the bench. Nembhard being here. Nembhard is your backup small point guard. CJ is your backup shooting guard. His natural position, right? And then at your backup small forward, Lou Dort, right? At power forward, don't mess around. You put Zuby at that power forward spot. Mohamed Gueye had his 3 seasons to prove he's the backup power forward, and he couldn't do it. He ain't on the floor. The coach that wants him here can't put him on the floor because he can't hit a shot. Can't do it. His defense ain't that good. His defense can't be that good if you can't put him on the floor, right? Per the system, right? He figured it out. He can't shoot. He can't shoot. So that it is what it is. So, and I've shown you the games. I've shown you the game film. Do I have to show you that Dallas game? Here, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. How do you want to do it? You can go and look on Around the ATL. Look for the Dallas Mavericks game. I think it was December 2024 season. Mohamed Gueye misses 4. I can tell you real quick. Let me see if I can find at least the map of it real quick. Is this it? Anthony Davis in that game. Is this it? This is it, I think. Here we go. Anthony Davis had 34 points, 15 boards, and 5 blocks. Was Trae Young guarding Anthony Davis in this game? Okay. No, he wasn't, is the answer. Okay. So who gave up all the points in this particular game? That we lost by 2 points. That Anthony Davis from the top of the three-point line drove all the way to the basket on Okongwu and scored the winning basket while Trae Young was on the bench. And no one has a word to say. You still blame Trae Young when he gave up 13 points in that game, when Okongwu gave up 35 points in that game. Okongwu gave up 35 points in a game we lost by 2. And you can still only blame Trae Young when he gave up 13 points in the same game. In a game, by the way, let's scroll back up real quick. I've shown you this game shot for shot. You don't got to believe me. In that game, 25 points, 12 assists. Muhammad Gueye in that game was 5 of 13 for 11 points. He was 5 of 13. By the way, in this game, the Atlanta Hawks left 40 points on the board. The Atlanta Hawks left 40 points on the board in a game they lost by 2. But it's one person's fault. The person passing you the ball. Listen to this. I want you to listen to this real quick. This is the shots. First quarter, Muhammad Gueye misses a wide open 3. Second quarter, Okongwu misses a layup. These are all passes from that former player, by the way. Passes. Okongwu misses a layup. Niang misses a 3. Niang misses a 3. Niang misses a layup. Daniels misses a wide open 3. That's 13 points just in the second quarter alone. We lost this game by 2 points. And you're convincing me that that one player with the initials T and Y was the reason they lost this game and all other games, and nobody else can be held accountable and be criticized for them being bad at basketball. 13 points in the second quarter alone in a 2-point loss. Third quarter, Zach misses a wide open 3. Muhammad Gueye misses a 3. Muhammad Gueye misses a 3. Muhammad Gueye misses a wide open jumper. Barlow misses a layup. That's 13 more points that we just gave up in the third quarter that we couldn't score from passes generated by one player, giving it to you exactly where you need it, and you're wide open. I want to concentrate on the words wide open. A player that two seasons in a row led the NBA in potential assists. We lost a game by 2 points, where that same player that ain't playing here no more wasn't guarding the best offensive player on the other team, who is Anthony Davis. In the fourth quarter of that game, Vitt misses a wide open 3. Gueye misses another wide open 3. Okongwu misses a layup, and LeVert misses a wide open 3 for another 11 points. We left 40 points on the board in a 2-point loss, and you want me to say, oh, well, it has to be the other person's fault. Okongwu gave up 35 points in a 2-point loss. The other player gave up 13 points. So again, I don't believe some of you went to school at a certain point, but 35 points is more than 13 points everywhere on planet Earth. So the player who gave up 35 points is the one who gave up the most points in the game. And in a 2-point loss, that player has more to do with that loss than the player who gave up 13 points. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. So that being said, I thought I had something here. I didn't do that way. So that's just one example of hours of game film that I reviewed. If you want to go back, you can look at all the other games I reviewed, including the 73-point game we gave up to Luka when that former player wasn't guarding Luka. Who gave up all those points to Luka? 73 points. And I always say this as I close out. Even if you believe in your heart of hearts that one player gave up 73 points, who scored the other 70-plus points? Because that game was 150-something to 150-something. We lost by 5. In that game, I reviewed that game. I broke it all down for you. You don't got to believe me, but I gave you shot for shot. So all that being said, I don't like how this organization arbitrarily decides to give up or not actually work with a player. And again, I hate that word development to an extent, because really it's a matter of training. It's a matter of guidance. It's a matter of mentorship. It's a matter of practice. It's a matter of getting that coach, that trainer. You see what I'm saying? You see people getting better at their craft. You see, listen to this. Somebody's worst year in the NBA was this past season when they only played 15 total games. 17.9 points, 8 assists a game. That was their worst year in the NBA. Okay. Their first year in the NBA, again, 19 points, 8 assists. Their second year, 29.6 points, 9.3 assists. Right? And then the very next year, and I said this would happen, if we get better players, that player won't have to shoot as much. His shot selection went from 20.8 field goals attempts a game to 17.7. He scored 25 points, had 9 assists. The very next year, 28 points, 9.7 assists. And then the next year, 26 and 10. Next year, 25 and 10. Next year, 24 and 11, almost 12 assists a game. With the rosters as constructed. And our organization said, nah, let's actually get some better players that won't leave 40 points on the board from missed shots. He could be averaging 20 assists a game. Why can't we just let that happen? Why can't we do Phoenix Suns? Since we got this offensive guru, you can't be an offensive guru if nobody can hit shots. Nobody can finish in the lane. No one can hit a 10-foot jumper. Right? Isn't that true? Steve Nash wouldn't be as good as he was without those people finishing. Stockton, all those people who finished, all those professionals. I ain't missing no dunk. I'm not missing no layup. I'm not missing the 5-foot post shot. I'm not missing this 12-foot jumper. I'm not missing this wide open three. I'm not missing any of these shots. It's John Stockton giving me the ball exactly where I need to. Magic Johnson getting the ball. I need to be over here. He's passing the ball before I even get there. Mr. 3.9 turnovers for his career. Get where you're supposed to be. We can't even do that. Somebody did that to me on the street the other day. That was bad too. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. You know, do you think this was too soon? And basically you give up on a young man who's just getting started in his NBA career? Do you believe it, in the long run, will it bring a championship? Because again, all moves have to be towards a championship. What are we talking about? We got to wait 7 more years for a championship. We got to slow roll this. That's what a lot of people started saying. Oh, we got to build it. We got to build it the right way now. We're going to decide now we're going to try to win. We're going to try to put better players around our best player now. Again, we could have had 2 all NBA players on the same team. 2 most improved players on the same team. 2 NBA all defensive players on the same team. We could have been doing this the whole time. We could have been, and we just decided not to, because that's what the Hawks have been allowed to do, is do everything the opposite of every winning team around us in the Eastern and Western conferences since 1966. We have 2 Eastern Conference Finals to show for it. That's how we know it's true. That's how we know it's true. It's the only reason. It's the only thing that would make sense, right? We better hope that Zach don't go over to Dallas and start scoring 19 points a game every game. I don't know if he's going to start over there or not. I mean, I don't know what their lineup really is going to be. I saw the makeup of their roster, and I'm I mean, I don't know yet. It's kind of too early to tell what they're going to do over there. I thought I had their roster pulled up. I guess I took it down. But just playing with Kyrie and Cooper over there, it's going to loosen some things up for them, right? For the Hawks, again, I think these two players coming over, again, Corey Kispert got to go. I'm sorry. We need 2 or 3 players gone. Like, we don't need Koloko. We don't need I mean, I think you may keep Keaton Wallace as a third guard, but we need to get rid. And like even with Buddy Hield now, it's like, but he would be our best 3-point shooter at the moment still. I mean, there's just a lot. I don't know who Keyshawn Gilbert is. I don't think he's going to be here. So you take him off probably. Take off Ray J. That's 2 players. Devin Carr, that's 3 players. So I mean, we'll probably get rid of those 3 players. And I think we'll be all right. But again, I don't think we can get away with not starting Kingston and having them actually be the point guard. And I don't think we can get away with still just being a small ball lineup forever. I just don't see that happening and us being competitive when we just watched the Knicks. You know, I just don't think it can't be sustainable when we gave up all those points. Oh, I did delete it. I mean, do y'all want to see a little bit of a preview? I shouldn't do this, but let me see. I'll do it real quick. It's 11 o'clock. I need to get out of here. Let's see. I'll go ahead and do one possession real quick, just to give you a little bit of a tone of what Game 4, Hawks versus Knicks, 2026 NBA playoffs is going to be coming. So let me just pick out a shot in maybe the first quarter. Or maybe the second. Let's see. I think I started the second. So I'm trying to find this one OG play. Not that one. Not that one. I'm trying to find, let's see. Oh, I'm going to play this 4th shot. Yeah, let me see. Is this the first quarter? Yeah. So I'm going to download it first. Oh, I do have these. Well, I'm not going to play those now. I just noticed them. Let me download it first. All right. So okay, it's uploading now. I'm trying to make sure that I cut the sound on it though, because all I'm gonna do. Okay, cool. So here's what I will be doing for Game 4. And for those who've never seen a game review, what I do is prior to showing you the clip, I basically tell you what's going to happen, so that way you'll know, you have a little bit of an idea. Because again, these shots are broken down possession for possession, right? So this is the 4th shot of the first quarter. Okay, so Cat has the ball at the top of the key. He's going to drive on the Kongu. CJ is going to leave his man. Okay, Cat's going to pass it to a wide open Jalen Brunson. What have I always said? You stay with your man. Okay, the reason you stay with your man is because you stay with your man unless you have to leave, and that's when you have to actually become the help defender. You don't become a help defender just because you want to leave your man. You only are supposed to leave your man when you're forced to. When you leave your man before that, you give the other team an opportunity to score easier every single time. Here's the play. Did you see what CJ did there? There was no reason for CJ to be where he was. If he stayed on Brunson, you force somebody else to play some defense. And if he can't play defense, then the post player comes over for help defense. But CJ getting out of position just gave them a shot for no reason. And that is what I've been talking about for years. And it's not pretty. So that being said, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Y'all let me know when you watch this, whenever you watch it, tonight, tomorrow, next week, whenever. What do you think? Do you believe it was just way too early? Do you believe that a number one pick who averaged 12 points a game in their rookie year, finished second in Rookie of the Year voting, had 4 30-point games in their rookie year, more than any other Hawk in Hawks history, including that former player, cut ties too soon just because the coach didn't like him? Like, is that enough of a reason? Is that enough of a reason for a player that has a better first season scoring points on the NBA floor than any other Atlanta Hawk in Hawks history, except for one? Is that enough? Is that enough to just give him up to another team? Is that enough? Now, again, you got 2 pretty decent players. So that makes it a little less just a little less hurtful overall, as far as this basketball-wise. But that's only if it works. Because, again, we got to win a championship this year. Don't you agree? Like, again, for all those who are Atlanta Hawks fans, you don't agree that we need to get to the championship at least? You don't believe that you believe that it's just good enough to get to the first round again? That you? It ain't good enough for me. Because, again, if you're basing things off of trying to win, we need to get to the Eastern Conference Finals this past season with Jalen Johnson leading the team, with a better supporting cast than we've ever had here before. Because in their third year, with a lesser cast, we did get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And that was without Hunter. Right? Like, do I have to go over that Eastern Conference run again and show you everybody? Bogey was our second leading scorer for that playoff series, guys. Bogey was. Bogey was. Go look up who was third. Go look up who was fourth. You see what I'm saying? Go look. You don't got to believe me. You had somebody averaging 29 and 10, and then look and see what everybody else was doing. So with Zach, why couldn't you just figure that out? Why couldn't you imagine if Zach got a chance to play with Kingston? Just think about that. Again, though, you could have just had the other guy who's just better than everybody, all those guys. But again, other teams decide not to build around their best player too. Portland Trailblazers with Dame Time. Dame Time ain't been to but one Western Conference Final his entire career there. Melo, how many 50-loss seasons did he have over there in New York land? But he's beloved over there. Nobody hates him scoring all those points. But he didn't win nothing. He didn't win a thing. Didn't even have a chance to win. Didn't have a chance to win. Look at those rosters. Right? But the Atlanta Hawks are worse than all these other organizations because they really, truly had a lot of talent over a period of time in different eras. And we have nothing to show for it. We need to win a championship now. We don't got time to wait. Again, 2029, Jalen Johnson will be officially a free agent. But will we even get to 2029? 2026, if we don't get to the championship, or we get not, let's just say we get not, again, what happens if in 2026 we're back in the play-in? Well, let's say we still make the playoffs somehow, but we get knocked out the first round. Or let's say we get to the second round, get knocked out the second round. And then the next year, we get to the playoffs again, right? But we don't win a championship, right? Then it'll be the 2028 season, right before Jalen Johnson becomes a free agent. What happens? Do the Hawks get rid of him? Do the Hawks get rid of him? Do we go and get Kuminga wherever he ends up and bring him back? We love bringing people back. Well, at least Bruno anyway, right? Anyway, guys, I got to go. Hopefully you enjoyed. Again, talked a lot about the organization in the past. I showed you a lot of facts there. I know it's overwhelming, whole facts. Oh my God, right? But with Kuminga, not Kuminga, but with Zach no longer being here, was it too soon? What was the real reason behind getting rid of a player that it's not even just a potential. He can score. He can run the floor. He has some defensive tendencies. He has the length, right? He's not a ball stopper or anything like that by far. But he wasn't the one giving up most of the points each night either, by the way. Okay? We just didn't want to play him anymore. And that goes to the confidence. And when your confidence is not great because you're not playing, you want to play. When you know you can play and then you're not playing, that, it's not about it's discouraging. It's not about being weak-minded and all this kind of stuff. That's discouraging when you were scoring almost 13 points a game the year before, right? You can't figure out, again, this is what this team is not good at, figuring out how to put the best players in position to succeed. You took away the main cog in that, and then you just said, we'll just hope for the best. And it kind of worked out for a few games because, again, we played all these games against teams that were under 500 without their best player, right? We didn't have Luke and Vic giving up points anymore because they're off the roster. That's two players giving up a lot of your points each game, right? And then, again, you bench Zach, so CJ get in there and score his 18 points a game every game. That worked out. Are we going to have another stretch where we're going to play all these teams under 500 again? I doubt it. You see what I'm saying? So you can't rely on that anymore. You have a little bit to offset some of the things with having Wiggins and Dort and Nembhard here now, along with Kingston if you play him, Zuby if you play him, and Vassar if you play him. Vassar can get to the basket. He can hit a three. He can hit a baseline jumper. He can finish in the middle. And again, he's going to run into 2 blocks a game. He's going to run into 2 blocks a game. He's going to get a lot of contests. He don't have to get blocks. He could just contest. Do we want to keep seeing 50, 60? Who's giving up 50, 60 points a game in the paint this season? Answer me that. You can't blame the other player no more. He ain't here. Why do we give up 35 fast break points? Why do we give up 30 second chance points? Why is any of that possible if that other player is not here anymore? Who else is on the floor? Who's left? That playoff series forced us to make this kind of a move. Y'all know that, right? I don't want to say it's a desperate move because, again, at the end of the day, everybody still has to do their jobs. But if we still have people who still can't stop nobody, even though we got Dort, then what? Then what are you going to say? Are you still going to be like, well, it's okay that person don't play defense because, he's almost averaging triple-double till the playoffs, right? Are you going to say that? We got it. What is the phrase? We got to talk brass tacks here, guys. We needed our best player to be the best, and we didn't get anywhere close to that. Because if we had, we beat the Knicks. We beat the Knicks. And I don't know why y'all don't want that to have happened. I don't know why you didn't want to get to a championship. That ain't on me. That's on you. I needed the Hawks to win a championship this year, or at least get there. At least get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Golly. Anyway, guys, that's my take on this whole trade thing right now. And again, it's an organizational thing. It is. We got to get it together. Again, some of these moves. Again, I like the draft. I like the Wiggins acquirement. I like, I hate this is how you get Dort and Nembhard, but hey, it worked out. You got them on your team. Now it's a matter of playing all these people. But if the coach can't get that together, we need to, again, I'll go ahead and say this too. Snyder ain't the guy. 25 and 38 in the playoffs does not tell me he's the guy. We gave him a contract based off of that. We gave him a contract based off of watching our team give up in 2 straight playoff games. We gave him a contract based off a 60-point deficit in a playoff game. I got to go, y'all. Talk to y'all later. Make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio. Tell at least one person about around the ATL. I do have some new Falcon stuff I'm going to talk about soon. We're going to get back on the Braves now that the All-Star break is over. We're going to talk about Angel Reese and the Dream a little bit. That crazy person talking all that this stuff. It's crazy out there. We'll talk some Atlanta United since now the World Cup is officially over. We'll get back on that as well. I'll do another session on that. So tune in the next time. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Dribble, pass, throw, catch, hit, slide, grab, respect, around.